Hi, this is Ryan, and I wanted to tell a story that's a true event, true story completely. Now you have to hear it, and listen to the whole video, because you're just gonna be completely, well, you ask your detective, if any of you men in government want, just ask what happened to the kid. Because I'm gonna tell you the story, and I'm gonna tell you about an event that happened, and I had to leave the party because my sister grabbed my arm and said, "Ryan, it's time to go," and I don't know what happened to the kid that was being beaten by these two other guys. So, that's what I'm going to get into. It was a Friday evening, and the sun was setting, and I was living at 5209 East 196th Street in Belton, Missouri, 64012. And, just get this though. Hold on. I talked to my sister about the party that she invited me to with their friend Amy Parks at the time, and she says, "Ryan, what party are you talking about?" Like she just is like either retarded or a complete liar. Complete liar or retarded. Because she's the one that invited me. It was a Friday evening, it was after school, the sun was setting, my mom and Paul weren't home, no one was home but me. Hannah pulled up in her little silver ZX2 coupe, two-door, silver, and she said, she came to the house. Amy Parks was with her. She's married to Amy Parks, so her last name changed, but I think she was with Hannah's graduating class at Belton. So Hannah got to the house, and she said, "Ryan, do you want to go to a party with us?" And I asked her, "Is there going to be beer there?" And she said, "Yeah, there's going to be beer." I said, "Okay, I'll go." That's what I said. I said, "I'll go." Alright, so Hannah's in the driver's seat, and Amy Parks and I are in the back seat together. And we start driving, and I knew we were going to RayPec, Raymore Peculiar, Missouri, because that's the roads we were taking, but the sun had set by the time she got where the subdivision was. I couldn't, when we left, it was dark completely. I don't remember how to get to the house, but when you walked into when we got there, we walked into the garage. You open the door to the finished basement downstairs. I think there's a fireplace, there's a finished bar, and there's like 20 upperclassmen there from RayPec. They were all upperclassmen, older than me. And, I asked somebody, I said, "Do you know where the beer's at?" And they said, "Yeah, it's over there in the cooler." I said, "Okay." So I grabbed a 12-ounce brown Budweiser bottle, just one. I opened it, and I started drinking it. And all of a sudden, so there's the finished bar, then there's a fireplace on the other side, then there's a door that you walk into that goes upstairs. Well, these 20 upperclassmen, I think it's about 20-something people, were surrounding, in a circle, two guys and one guy in the middle. And the one guy in the middle was the one that was being assaulted, but he wasn't being assaulted at this point. But the kid had glasses on. He looked like he was real handsome. He was shorter, skinny. He had blonde hair, and he's, handsome. And, here's what happened. I heard screaming. I was behind the crowd of 20 people, just in the background. And I started hearing this guy scream at the top of his voice, this guy. And I looked over the people to see what was going on. And this upperclassman with the red shirt, tight jeans, rounded boots, brown boots that his jeans were over the legs of. He had short, light brown hair. He was tall. He started screaming at this kid, and he had a friend there, the guy with the red shirt on that was doing the screaming. He had a friend there in a gray sweatshirt watching the whole thing, right? He was in front of the kid. The kid was in the middle. The guy with the gray sweatshirt was here. The 20 people were surrounding them, and the guy with the red shirt yelling at him. Well, he was the one doing the assaulting. The guy with the gray sweatshirt, I think, was there just to do something, but I'm not. He was just watching over it. But I was looking over after I heard the yelling, and this kid with the glasses got hit square in his face, right here on his nose. His glasses fell off, and blood started pouring. Blood wasn't like dripping out of his nose. Blood started flowing out of his nose. The guy was screaming at him, and they said, "What'd he do?" People from the crowd said, "Well, I was just watching the whole time holding my beer." And they said, "What did he do?" And the guy screamed, "He swore on my dead girlfriend's name. He swore on my dead girlfriend's name." Then they hit him in the stomach. The kid that got punched in the face with blood just pouring out of his nose. And he fell on the ground. And he was on his knees and hands. And after that, the guy with the red shirt, while the guy with the sweatshirt was watching over, while the guy with the gray sweatshirt was watching over him, the guy with the red shirt went over to the corner of the room, picked up a wood chair, and he picked it up over his shoulders and head, and then slammed it on the kid's back, and it broke. And but before all that, when he first got hit in the face, the kid with the blonde hair and his glasses came off was holding his face, and his eyes were like red and puffy, like he was high on drugs. I don't know whenever he got hit, he looked like he was partway unconscious from drug abuse, and he was just gathering himself while his eyes were closed and blood was pouring out of his nose. So he looked like he was under the influence of a few drugs. But then, he went over, picked up, after they hit him and he was on the floor, the guy with the red shirt went over and picked up a wood chair, brought it over and broke it over the kid's back. And I wondered about doing something. But, something like an angel said, "Ryan, if you go do what you're thinking," I was wanting to jump through the crowd and hit both the guy in the gray sweatshirt and the guy with the red shirt. And the angel was telling me, "Ryan, if you get into that crowd, someone's going to fuck you up." But I want to get involved, because I said, this is wrong what's happening to this kid, and all these 20 upperclassmen weren't doing anything to help him. Well, after I decided not to do anything, my sister came up from that door that went upstairs to the house, grabbed my shoulder and said, "Ryan, it's time to go." Amy Parks stayed at the house, and Hannah and I left through the garage, and we went into her car and she drove me home. But I talked to my sister about that like a year or two ago. It's so senile in her mind to say, "That never happened. I never took you to a party." That's what she said. But that's what happened, and I thought, what happened to the kid at the party? They end up killing him and disposing of his body? Because you'd think if he left the house and lived, he would have filed charges on the men assaulting him at the house. So, that's why I recorded this video. It was one of those tragic incidences where no one was getting involved, and if I did, I was going to be, I just might not have made it out of the party alive. You can, anyone that watches this video, I never lie. I'm a completely honest person. That's exactly what happened. And, just talk and pray to God about it. And, it's just a scary thing. So, alright, bye.